Starting soon.
Customize and save with Liberty Mutual. Take 96.
Liberty Bibbity.
Cut.
Got it. Thank you.
Hey, everybody! The first of the men's baseball games, it is Jefferson versus Dominican for the CACC semifinals. Jefferson's number 1 seed. Dominican number 3 seed. Starting to like this. Hopefully this come on, don't tell me it's just starting already. I don't know, guys. What? Yeah, here we go.
Welcome to Caldwell University from the George R. Newman Center here on the campus of Caldwell University. We are playing CACC Conference Championship basketball this weekend. If it's March, you want to be playing college basketball because this is where all the fun happens. We've got both men's and women's semifinal and final action here at the Newman Center. And we've got a lot of different storylines to go with. We've got some foes that have seen each other before, some newcomers on the scene. So it looks to be an exciting weekend. Our first matchup at 12 o'clock tip, just about in 7 minutes. We have the Jefferson Rams and the Dominican Chargers. Now, this is a repeat of the last full conference championship, which was in the 1920 season down at the Bobby Morgan Arena, which was won by Dominican. It looks to be a very intriguing matchup. As Eric Timko, the best player on the Jefferson Rams, is in a walking boot. He's out. So the Rams are going to have to look to fill in some of his scoring. Luckily, they've got a guy named Connor Murphy on the bench that came in and put in 19 in the Nyack game to get them here to the semifinal. There's certainly plenty of first-team talent on that Rams side. They come into this event with a record of 21-5, 16-2 within the conference. Luckily for the Rams, the only losses they took in the conference were to Chestnut Hill and Goldie Beacom. They've got 3 wins over the 3 teams that are actually here this weekend. And on the other side of the coin, we've got the Dominican Chargers. They come in with a record of 20-6, 12-5 within the conference. The crazy thing about Dominican, this senior class has amassed 90 wins in their whole time there at Dominican. There's 2 conference championships that they won in the 20 season and in the 19 season. They also lost to Jefferson in the 18 season. So this Dominican team is a team that's been through the wars. They know each other. Jalen Burgess, number 5, is their all-conference performer, along with Wahad Johnson, number 11, and Justin Kottman, number 34. They've been through these games. They know what they want to accomplish here. They're no stranger to the Newman Center. Since they're in the north, they see Caldwell here twice a year. So they're very comfortable in this surroundings. Unfortunately, Dominicans got a loss to Jefferson, a loss to Post, 2 losses to Post, and 2 wins against Felician for the other 3 teams that are here. So Coach Joe Clinton will have to do his best to get this team over the hump. You're not thinking about Sunday, you're thinking about how we can get through Saturday. So let me just kind of give you the lineup of what we're going to see. In a couple minutes, we're going to see Jefferson and Dominican. And then in the next men's semifinal game, we're going to see Post and Felician. And then we'll be back at 5 o'clock for the 2 women's games. Chestnut Hill and Jefferson at 5, and then U Sciences and Post in the late game. So we're looking forward to seeing all that action. I'm with the talented broadcast crew, Ben Dinallo, Jerry Milani, and Andrew Byrne. Andrew and Ben are down at the sideline. Guys, can you hear me down there?
Broadcast crew, J.R. Dinallo in just a second. You heard from Mike, a big one to start off this afternoon. The top seed in the South, Jefferson, against the second seed in the North, Dominican. And J.R., good afternoon to you. Let's talk a little bit about this Jefferson club. And you heard Mike mention Eric Timko going down in the month of February with a left foot injury against Georgian Court, the conference's Rookie of the Year. How do they replace the CACC's leading scorer?
Well, it's hard to replace somebody like that. But this is such a veteran team, this Jefferson Ram team. But Antonin Kemkang, DeAndre Bourne, those are the 2 players that right away will step in and try to, make up for that scoring loss from Timko. But Cannell and Barba Bay, the backcourt today, is going to be very important because we know Dominican's going to want to really play the game fast. They're going to want to get out on the break. Wahad Johnson and Daniel Grant are really going to push the tempo. The Jefferson guards today are very important for us to watch. Conversely, can Koppman deal with Kemkang inside? I think those are big matchups. And I'm like stating the obvious, Andrew, but it's going to be really important for the Jefferson guards to play well today.
You can't talk about Jefferson men's basketball without talking about the shot doctor, the legendary Herb McGee, in what could be his final CACC game on the sideline, retiring at the end of the season. What a career he has had. 10 straight trips for Jefferson to the CACC semifinals. How do you think they're going to come out today?
Well, if there was any doubt about the resolve of the Jefferson team, they totally squelched that Tuesday night with a convincing wire-to-wire win over a really good Nyack team. And Nyack had been playing very well going into Tuesday's quarterfinal. Gave Dominican all they could handle on Saturday afternoon in the regular season contest. So that win on Tuesday by Jefferson just goes to show you, what this coaching staff obviously means, but how those guys are going to take the challenge of not having Eric Timko in the lineup today and say, you know what? We are the number 1 seed for a reason. And we're going to come at the Chargers and anybody else that we face this weekend with a lot of resolve.
Last point to Dominican. You mentioned the strong play from Justin Kottman. How about Jalen Burgess? He went off for a season-high 34 points in that convincing win over Goldie Beacom. What do you expect from him and the rest of the Chargers?
Well, I think Jalen Burgess has a chip on his shoulder. He's got a little bit something to prove. I'm sure he and others in the Dominican program thought he was a first-team all-conference player, not a second-team. And I think he came out Tuesday night with something to prove, and he certainly did. Watch for him to come out with that same kind of, energy level. But for me, again, today, Daniel Grant, Wahad Johnson, if they play well, I like Dominican's chances today.
The second seed in the North, Dominican College. The top seed in the South, Jefferson, as we send it back upstairs to Mike Andrewson.
Timely insight by the guys down on the floor. We're just about a minute and a half to the tip. It's Ben gives you some good things to focus on if you're watching this game, and fans of both of those teams. If Dominican can push the tempo, they can definitely go with it. Jefferson usually plays 5-6 guys maximum. They play big minutes up to about 36, 34, 36 and a half minutes a game if you look at their score sheet. So it's going to be a very interesting matchup in that respect. And the guard play was something to pick up on. Be happy to see what Johnson and Grant can do. Some of the upperclassmen there at Dominican, they've been through these wars. They know what it's all about. I'm sure that they're looking to finalize that last bit of information on the bench before we get started with the tip. We're under a minute to go. You are here at the George R. Newman Center on the campus of Caldwell University for CACC Men's Semifinal Championship Tournament Basketball.
And now here are your starting lineups. At forward for Dominican, a 6'7" junior from Cumberland, Maryland, number 34, Justin Kopman. At forward for Jefferson, a 6'6" freshman from the Bronx, New York, number 35, Bismarck Nisaya. At forward for Dominican, a 6'5" graduate student from Spring Gardens, New York, number 5, Jalen Burgess. At center for Jefferson, a 6'9" sophomore from Lille, France, number 22, Antonin Kemkeng. At guard for Dominican, a 6'1" junior from Brooklyn, New York, number 11, Wahad Johnson. At guard for Jefferson, a 6'3" freshman from Piscataway, New Jersey, number 3, Ahmed Barabay. At guard for Dominican, a 6'1" graduate student from Middletown, New York, number 15, Daniel Grant. At guard for Jefferson, a 6'1" junior from Blackwood, New Jersey, number 5, Darius Kinnell. At center for Dominican, a 6'8" graduate student from Staten Island, New York, number 22, Danelle Hill. And at guard for Jefferson, a 6'5" junior from Brooklyn, New York, number 23, DeAndre Bourne. And introducing the head coaches for Dominican, Joe Clinton, and for Jefferson, Herb McGee.
Andrew Byrne welcoming you back inside the George R. Newman Center, the beautiful campus of Caldwell University in Caldwell, New Jersey, the site of this year's CACC men's and women's postseason tournament. And JR, let's talk a little bit as we get set for tip-off. How does Dominican stop Antonin Kemking, the second leading rebounder in Division II?
Well, I think, Donnell Hill and Justin Kottman are formidable post players themselves. And I think that Kottman will probably draw the responsibility of guarding Kemking. And I think that we'll see, Hill taking that role as well throughout the course of the game. I think the Dominican guards are really going to try to get by their players today and get to the basket as much as possible.
As Donnell Hill wins the tip back over Kemking, and Dominican College will possess right to left on your screen in this first half. The second seed out of the north, tangling with the top seed in the south, Jefferson, making their 10th straight appearance in these semifinals. Inside it goes to Burgess. One more backdoor pass, tough for Kottman to handle, and a turnover.
Well, I think everybody probably thought Jalen Burgess was going to shoot that jump shot. A little bit of surprise by Kottman, wasn't thinking that pass was coming.
Season high 34 points in their 95-61 win over Goldie Beacom for number 5 in black, the redshirt senior. Messiah has it left side. Right hand dribble, jumper, free throw line, back iron, and Dominican boxes out on Kemking and secures the rebound.
Well, it was Donnell Hill that has drawn the assignment, not Kottman, to start the game.
Grant slithering his way inside will head to the free throw line.
Well, and there's just an example of what Justin Grant can do. Being able to take his player off the dribble and get to the basket really has to be a focus defensively for the Rams.
Grant will shoot two after the foul. And he rims out the first. Grant had 9 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, and 4 steals in that quarterfinal win. He filled up the stat sheet. One more coming. And he missed a pair, and we stay scoreless 50 seconds in. Right side it comes Messiah, the freshman averaging 9 points per game. Looking for the handoff to Cannell. Good defense by Dominican. Bubba Bay, wide open left wing three. Misfires, and there's the aforementioned Donnell Hill pulling down a defensive board. Grant stuttering his way inside, and there's the first points of the semifinals of JR. Grant already showing he can drive.
Well, 2 possessions where Grant is able to get by Kittle. Got to see if the Rams are going to make some form of an adjustment. That can't continue if they're going to be successful.
Left side of the floor, Kemking going to work inside on Hill. This is the matchup we talked about, and Kemking scores over the 6'9" Hill.
Hill did a really good job, but a nice finish by Kemking. But I was impressed with the way Donnell Hill just played him there.
Hill has it out high, looking for somebody to give it up to. Wahad Johnson attacking the basket, too strong with the left hand, and there's Kemking, number 2 in the country in rebounding at 12.6 boards per game, and he has another in the early going. Messiah hard to the basket, spins over Kottman and puts up an air ball.
So far, the post players for Dominican have done a great job defensively, forcing tough shots.
Here's Grant going for a run underneath the basket and now pulls it out high. Donnell Hill playing way away from the basket as they go back inside. Grant top inside.
Andrew, so far no answer from the Rams on Daniel Grant.
Redshirt senior from Middletown, New York, having his way inside with the Rams. And it's 4-2 Dominican. Coming down on 3 minutes off this first half clock. Shot clock down to 11. Barba Bay bluffs on a 3. Extra pass. Kemking! A two-handed flush. Good find from Messiah.
Great ball movement by the Rams. Really just super job of making the extra pass for the dunk by Kemking.
They pick up Grant that time. Left elbow. Out high it comes to Burgess. Lost the handle. Fortuitous to Johnson. Now Burgess, long three. Got it.
Jalen Burgess certainly has range. He could probably step 2 more steps deeper and shoot the basketball successfully. Good start for him.
Bourne gives it up. Right side of the floor, Nisaya. Mid-range jumper, well off. Kottman tracks down the defensive rebound. One and done for the Rams.
Boy, you beat me to it, partner. I was just about to say that.
Oh, Burgess! A man inside the hoop and the arm.
You see Burgess getting by the side, absorb the contact and the finish. But you made a great point. So far, no offensive rebounds for Jefferson. That's a great start for Dominican to keep them off the glass.
We have reached the under 16 timeout. Burgess will go to the free throw line after the break. It's 9-4 Chargers. Come on back. You're watching playoff basketball on the CACC Digital Network, powered by Bridgewater TV.
At Jefferson, we're making modern look old and making old look new and making sure new is not enough. We're adding more weight to your degrees and more meaning to your careers, going where others wouldn't dare, making connections few think to make, and setting tomorrow's standards by breaking today's. Because we believe the lines that are drawn are meant to converge. That's where the future is born. And once you realize you're not limited to what's possible, guess what? You redefine all that will be.
Jalen Burgess getting hot for Dominican College. A three from the right wing. Now the hoop and the harm as we welcome you back inside the George R. Newman Center. And JR, if you are a Dominican College fan, this is the start you wanted against the top-seeded Rams of Jefferson.
Well, and you could see that the confidence level for Dominican, they needed this to get out of the gate so well. And again, rebounding on the defensive end and their guards' ability to get to the basket, that's a formula for their success, not only today but all year, but a great start for the Chargers.
Burgess drew the foul, and following the media timeout, he heads to the free throw line. 5 early points this afternoon for the redshirt senior, coming off a season-high 34 points against the third seed from the South, Goldie Beacom, earlier in the week. The foul, by the way, on Nisaya, and Burgess completes the three-point play, and Dominican has their largest lead of this first half. It is 6 at 10-4. Whistle inside, away from the basketball, and a foul on the defensive end against Dominican. And Wahad Johnson is guilty of the folly. This Dominican club, as Barba Bay sinks the mid-range jumper off the inbound, was getting ready to say they are meeting Jefferson for the 5th straight time in the postseason.
These two teams have been, kind of the gold standard in men's basketball over the last 5 years. Good finish by Barba Bay as a turnover for Dominican.
Nisaya waits for help. Barba Bay right side. This Jefferson club playing without Eric Timko, the rookie of the year, the conference's leading scorer during the regular season at 21.2 points per game. Tempting, going against 2, could not finish. At the other end, Johnson could not track down a hard bounce pass, and it's right back to Jefferson.
Boy, Donnell Hill, what a great start. Doing a super job on Anthony Kempking. You just see Wahad Johnson there. Couldn't get a handle on it. It was a great pass by Jalen Burgess. Great bounce pass ahead of the floor.
Coming down on 15 minutes to play first half. Low scoring early. It's 10-6 Dominican. They've led by as much as 6. Barba Bay feeling it this afternoon.
Well, 2 for 2 for Barba Bay, and he's certainly capable of knocking shots down. And you can see Dominican, they were loosely guarding him, getting ready to help inside on that last possession.
Oh, there's Daniel Grant again. JR touched on his ability to finish at the cup. He's done it 3 times this afternoon already. And Grant answers the Barba Bay triple with an attack to the basket.
Darius Cannell just has been unable to one-on-one stop Daniel Grant.
Messiah, they'll give him that shot. He doesn't take it away from the basket. Here's Barba Bay, straight on three, left it a bit short. Cotman flying in for the rebound.
Again, just one chance for the Rams. Good job by Dominican securing defensive boards.
Grant Roundtree is on for the first time today, number 3 in black. Left elbow, it goes Burgess. He's been looking to facilitate. Here's a pass to Grant. Waited for his defender to close on him rather than pull the quick trigger, and he misfires.
Yeah, I don't think Grant really wanted to shoot that. I think he wanted to go off the bounce.
Here's Kemking, bodying his way on Hill. The double team comes. Barba Bay switching to the left hand, nearly had it. It swirls out.
Great defense again inside by the Chargers.
Burgess out of control, turns it over.
Andrew, superstar defensive. Joe Clinton has to be thrilled by the way he's defending in the interior today. His guys are doing a phenomenal job of not allowing Kemking to catch and get a good look at the basket. Terrific start defensively for Dominican.
Joseph Merrill coming on for Dominican. And another thing the Chargers have done is they've made Barba Bay take a lot of shots in this first half. You mentioned the defensive effort on Kemking. Barba Bay has become the focal point. He could certainly handle the challenge. Better than 7 points per game. He had 10 playing all 40 minutes. The win over Nyack. Here's Connor Murphy. Long range bucket.
And Murphy had the great quarterfinal round game, as Mike Andrews mentioned in the pregame. Just picking up where he left off. Big splash three.
Murphy, partner, someone to watch who's trying to shoulder that load with the vacancy of no Timko. Here's Cotman. Handing it off near corner. Shot clock down to 9. Serrano just checked on. Misfires from 10 feet out. Messiah leaving it for Murphy. Good closing defense from Burgess to prevent another long-range chance. Backdoor pass inside. Contact underneath. And Dominican was out of bounds trying to save the basketball.
Well, you see, great job on that block. Block from the back by Roundtree. Good backdoor cut, though, by DeAndre Bourne. And Masai really was able to see that cutter nicely.
Well, we touched on it earlier. The defense from Dominican has been very good early. Kemking scores with the right hand over Cotman.
And he's a terrific player, so he's going to get opportunities and finish. You know, good job by Cotman to push him as far off the block as he can. But Donnell Hill on the bench, this might be the time for more offensive.
Sin was halfway in the air when he elected to pass it, and he throws it out of bounds for another turnover.
And you look, you know, we're almost at our second media timeout, and we're talking a lot about how well Dominican is playing. And you look up at the scoreboard, and Jefferson has a 2-point lead. You know, that's how good these Rams really are. They're getting a lot of balance so far today. Being able to get points from Murphy and from Barba Bay. Just a well-disciplined, well-coached team.
It's a quiet 10-2 run for Jefferson over the last 4 minutes following the media timeout. Kemking into the corner. Barba Bay buckets.
Now they have certainly made a decision to kind of help off of Barba Bay, and he's made them pay.
All of a sudden, Barba Bay knocking down a couple of threes. Wahad Johnson unable to convert inside. There's Murphy securing.
Now, good team rebounding and defending by the Rams.
It's become a 13-2 run. Messiah, right hand, tough shot. Burgess saves it for DC.
He had a mismatch. He had Grant on him. He just couldn't finish there. Grant trying to go a little too much. Turns it over.
Fast pace. Barba Bay, no. Put back Messiah. And a timeout.
Wow. Just a great run by the Rams, showing us why they are the best seed in the regular season in this tournament. You see them out on the break. Barba Bay just couldn't finish. The side there to clean it up.
We'll go down to the floor, and our sideline reporter, they're the fourth member of our broadcast team. Let's send it over to Jerry Milani.
All right, guys. Great first two portions of the first half. These two coaches together have coached 2,500 of these games. They've seen everything. In that first time out over on the Jefferson side, Coach McGee really talking about stepping up the defensive pressure, which I think is what you saw happen. I think before that first time out, teams kind of feeling each other out, neutral floor, getting used to the floor here. Got a chance to shoot around earlier, but not a place that they play often. The Dominican playing more often than Jefferson, but that defensive effort, I think, is what led for Jefferson to what happened in that last 4-minute period. Back to you guys.
Thanks so much, Jerry. Great insight from him, JR. And you touched on good defense early from DC, but now we're starting to see some cracks in that armor. And all of a sudden, Jefferson's on a 15-2 run to go up by a game-high 7.
And balance. A lot of guys involved for Jefferson. It's not just one player. And you know, sometimes when the quote-unquote best player or one of the best players leaves the floor, you know, the other guys, it could go either way, where there's panic on a team, where one guy might look to try to assume too much scoring. Not on this team. You can see they're all embracing the fact that they have to make up for the loss of Eric Timko. And it's not just falling on Antonin Kempkeng. Nasai, Barba Bay with great minutes early, and Connor Murphy coming off the bench. Just a terrific start from the Rams.
Well, and you want to talk a moment about Timko and players needing to step up. You look at this Jefferson club. They haven't lost since Timko went down with an injury. They finished that game off with an overtime win over Georgian Court and then convincing wins over U Science's Holy Family and then Nyack in the postseason.
And I mentioned it, you know, the win over Nyack was a really, really good one because that team had been playing well. And Jefferson handled them like wire to wire. That was a really impressive performance.
Here we go.
7-point lead for Jefferson on what is an extended 15-2 run over the last 5 and change. Out of this timeout, Grant, right-hand dribble, spinning his way inside, hanging in the air and finishing in tight.
Well, anytime, with the exception of once, that Grant has tried to get to the rim, he has. And he scored on 3 of those 4 attempts. I mean, good start for Daniel Grant.
He's been the focal point thus far. Not yet, Jalen Burgess. Who averaged better than 19 points per game. Nisaya, shot clock down to 6. Burgess is covering him, and a late whistle underneath, and a foul called.
Yeah, it's a great point by you. It was a little bit late. You see Nisaya working here on Burgess. Burgess does a good job, little close. Joe Clinton definitely not happy with that foul call.
He's voicing his displeasure on the sidelines as Nisaya will head to the free throw line, shooting 2 on what is the first personal on Burgess. And the first one is good.
Burgess not really known for his, interior defense. He's that swing type of player. So if he gets matched up on the side, let's see if the Rams try to get inside the basketball in tight to the basket.
Well, after the second free throw was left short, Jefferson has a 6-point lead, the top seed in the South in the semifinals for the 10th year in a row. Legendary head coach Herb McGee in his 55th and final season, and there is Burgess over Nisaya, and he's warned for a little bit of chatter on the way by us.
Well, he's only shot the ball twice today, and he's knocked them both down. 2 threes for Jalen Burgess.
Murphy answering from straight on. This young man has really taken over in the postseason.
Wow, big minutes for a freshman, embracing his, sixth man type role. Good job by Connor Murphy.
And I believe it is Murphy now inside, guilty of a hold, away from the basketball. And Donnell Hill is coming back on, but you talked about Murphy, spot on during the pregame scouting report. The freshman, a career-high 19 points in the first playoff game over Nyack, and he's come off the bench and hit a couple of triples. Johnson hits it from the free throw line, extended left side.
A big bucket over DeAndre Bourne. Wahad Johnson, who had a really nice game in their quarterfinal win over Goldie Beacom.
Murphy feeling it, leaves that one short. Barba Bay into the stands to save it.
Great hustle play by Barba Bay.
And it leads to a jumper from DeAndre Bourne that falls.
Well, super hustle play. Ahmad Barba Bay has really come to play today.
Grant, something about the month of March, postseason basketball. You heard our studio analyst Mike Andrewson mention it. It's always good if you're playing basketball in March. Burgess, fall away, top shot, rattles in.
Man, Nasiah did everything right there, forcing a really difficult shot, but Burgess able to knock it down.
Jefferson by 4, 8:20 to play first half. Barba Bay, near corner. Now leaves it for Nasiah as this Jefferson offense regroups. Bourne looking for the contact, still able to float it in.
That's a great call. He absorbed a lot of contact on the way to the basket. Solid finish, though.
Roundtree hits the deck, the shot clanks off the window. Jefferson playing fast. Bourne, alley-oop was tough underneath for Nasiah, but he stays with it and draws the foul.
Yeah, Nasiah, I think, was a little bit too far away from the basket on the alley-oop to try to finish there. You see right here, Bourne getting beyond Grant, just not able to get as close to the basket as he would want, and Grant picks up the foul on Nasiah.
We've reached the under 8 media timeout in a good one. Number 1, Jefferson in the south. Number 2, Dominican in the north. It's the Rams by 6. You're watching the CACC Digital Network powered by Bridgewater TV.
At Dominican College, we are connected every day.
The best of both worlds, being here at Dominican.
You really feel like you can kind of relax. It's quiet, but you're 20 minutes, 25 minutes from downtown Manhattan.
They always have trips to go see a concert, football game, or a soccer game.
We are connected to the tri-state area, and so our students will do internships in this area, in New York City, in Connecticut.
Countless amount of opportunities through the career services, leadership development.
Going to career day, the career fair.
Our adjuncts have established careers within the field, and they ultimately want to see these students succeed.
Dominican College hanging tough with the number 1 seed in the South, Jefferson, 27-21 Rams, 7:53 to play first half. And Barba Bay, JR, has shined bright for Jefferson. 8 points, 3 of 7 from the floor. We talked about filling the void, and this young man thus far has done just that for Jefferson.
And he's really accepted the role, of replacing Eric Timko with such gusto. I mean, he had a great game the other night against Goldie, and you just see he's, not affected at all by the spotlight of today's game and who he's replaced. He's just stepping in and playing, and he's making hustle plays. He's knocking down shots. Just a really good effort by a kid who's, probably on a lot of other teams in this conference would be one of the best players on that team.
And for Dominican, Jalen Burgess is a perfect 4 of 4 from the floor. He has 11 points. He finished 4th in the conference in scoring to earn second team all-conference honors, and Nasiah sinks the first. One more coming for number 35, the freshman from the Bronx. He had 21 points on an efficient 9 of 13 shooting in the playoff win earlier in the week, and he's 2 of 2 at the line as the lead grows to 8.
Donnell Hill back in the game, and Hill guard Antonin Kemkang. Let's see again if the guard play of Dominican can look to try to get them back into this here in towards the end of the first half.
Grant. Double team comes. He'll lob it inside to Burgess. Fall away jumper. He's 5 of 5 from the floor. Burgess feeling it for DC.
He just ran by us and said, they can't guard me. They can't guard me.
So far, he's right. Has not missed a shot. He has a game-high 13. Doing all he can to keep the Chargers within 6. Here's Barba Bay, wide open. Misfired.
Nice job by Nasiah to throw that big skip pass. Barba Bay couldn't knock down a wide open look, though.
Grant Strong to the basket, and he's heading to the free throw line, and that touches again on your point, JR. Grant is fast enough to get inside and make these kind of plays happen.
Well, and, Nasaya on him out on perimeter, that's a major mismatch for Daniel Grant. And you just saw him just able to get beyond him, but did a good job of absorbing that contact and drawing that foul and almost being able to get the ball into the basket.
Senior sinks the first free throw, and you wonder if Nasaya thought he had help side defense coming in the paint. It never came, and as you mentioned, the mismatch leads to a couple of free throws for the Chargers.
That's a good point that you just made. Nasaya probably is assuming he's going to get help somewhere, especially, you look on the floor. This Rams team at the moment is very, very big. Not a whole lot of true guards on the floor for Jefferson.
Murphy off the bench with a couple of threes. Joshua White draped all over him. A sophomore from Patterson. Shot clock down to 9. Barba Bay accelerates, pulls it back out. Now the shot clock at 4. Nasaya with a line drive jumper.
I would bet Dominican is okay with Nasaya taking that kind of shot. He happened to make that one, though, partner.
You tip your cap to number 35. Averages 9 points per game. Hill, tough pass inside, and guess who's there? Barba Bay contributing on both ends in this first half.
Well, it was a good look with a nice cut by Light. Barba Bay really did a nice job recovering to make a play on that pass.
Shot clock at 14. Adjacent to the broadcast booth. White triggers it in. Here's Burgess. That is an offensive foul.
I think DeAndre Bourne might have won an Oscar there, but he did a good job, absorbed a lot of contact. We see it here. Is Bourne set? It's close, partner. It's close. The thing that kind of would lean the official to give the call to the defender there is you saw Burgess kind of lean in with his shoulder just a little bit.
At the other end, Barba Bay over Hill, barely grazed the front of the rim. On the outlet pass, everybody beat down the floor by Wahad Johnson.
Well, Johnson, good run out, and Burgess with the home run pass. Nice finish.
DC within 4. 5:40 to play, first half. CACC semifinal, game number 1. Post and Felician follow at 2. Nasaya, a 3 in front of the Dominican bench.
Wow, back-to-back long-range shots by Nasaya. Dominican probably going to have to come out and guard him.
He did hit 8 3-pointers this season, but again, not expecting that. Johnson, too easy inside.
Yeah, Wahad Johnson, solid job of attacking the middle of the lane. Saw the defense coming and switched it to his left hand.
Right side, Bourne. Draped all over him, White. Here's Nasaya. Good ball movement from Jefferson. Nasaya on Burgess. Went to a spin move. Could not finish. Grant, the trailers, Burgess. No, putback is punched in by Hill.
A lot of contact on the other side.
Nasaya, there's contact, and the foul.
I don't know, partner. I think there was more contact on the last one than on this one, but a good finish by Nasaya. You see him as Donnell Hill just kind of swiped at the basketball. Didn't look like there was much there.
Bismarck Nasaya, they call him Biz. He's taken over down the stretch in this first half.
Yeah, I mean, he right now, seven straight points for Jefferson. And they just keep extending that lead.
And you saw Joseph Clinton, the head coach of Dominican, in the ear of the official as the three-point play is converted. And all of a sudden, Jefferson goes up 6. It's a critical juncture now. Late first half for Dominican College.
You make a great point. You make a great point. You don't want this lead to get away from you. Great look by Light. Finds Hill. Murphy comes over and gets him on the arm, not wanting him to make the easy bucket, make him earn it from the line. Great look by Josh Light.
The Staten Island, New York native Hill goes to the line, and something to watch. That's 2 personal fouls on Murphy. And that is an air ball from Hill.
Yeah. The foul by Murphy, tough to have him pick up his second, but Hill, not being a great free throw shooter, smart to make him earn it from the chariot stripe.
Now Hill will shoot one more. And that one is perfect.
Good job by Donnell Hill. Come back and make that. We see full court pressure here by the Chargers. And I like this, Andrew. Not a lot of guards on the floor for Jefferson. Make them handle the ball 94 feet.
Murphy breaks the press. Now a step back 3. Misses, and there's nobody in white underneath. An easy rebound for Kottman.
And that's a win for Dominican.
How about that circus shot from Joshua White inside?
Great finish by Light, but going back to the defensive trip, forcing Murphy into a quick shot. That's a great job by the Chargers, and quickly they've cut that lead to 3.
And Ahmed, Barba Bay calls a timeout right in front of us. 3:49 to play first half. Dominican and Jefferson locked in a good one in this afternoon's first semifinal. It is 37-34 Jefferson. You're watching playoff basketball on the CACC Digital Network, powered by Bridgewater TV. Andrew Byrne welcoming you back inside the George R. Newman Center. And JR, you hope you get good games when you look on paper and see number 1, number 2. And thus far, with 3:49 to play in the first half, this has lived up to the billing.
Absolutely. You know, like a good heavyweight fight, both teams have thrown some haymakers, and the other has accepted it and battled right back. I like what Dominican has done here in the last couple of possessions by extending their defense 94 feet, making the guard play of the Rams have to advance the ball. And again, you see it coming out of the break. Interesting that Darius Kinnell not on the floor, a very big lineup. Right now you see Barba Bay and Bourne as the backcourt with Murphy, Nasaya, and Kemkeng up front. A good team for Dominican to try to press.
Out of the timeout, Jefferson with the basketball, leading by 3. Barba Bay. Fall-away jumper would not go, and we have a foul on the floor as Barba Bay was trying for the rebound. They've spotted Dominican with a hold inside.
And that's a great call because you see Grant here was not in position and comes in late to try to make a play. Really good call by the official.
That is the 6th team foul on Dominican. One more. Jefferson to the line for the rest of the half. 3:30 to play. Rams by 3. Kemkeng. Well, it looked for a moment like Bourne was trapped, and Kemkeng comes to the rescue to put it in.
You know, with the small lineup that Dominican has on the floor, it's only Kottman inside, and that's advantage Jefferson.
White will hand it off to Grant, and the facilitator backs it up almost to near court. Inside he goes, switches to the left hand. Are you serious? From Grant in tights.
Wow, what a finish by Daniel Grant, getting by his guy and seeing Kemkeng and showing him the ball and giving it to him with another hand. Great finish.
Kemkeng floating left hand over Kottman in answer.
It's a tough guard for Kottman on Kemkeng at the moment with no help.
Kottman Murphy deflects that pass. It's into the corner for Grant. Thought about the three. Now he's driving on Messiah. Good ball movement from Dominican. Johnson pulls it back out. Shot clock down to 9. Isolation all the way to the basket. Pretty from Wahad.
The Jefferson guards really have struggled all first half with guarding the Dominican guards. Every one of Dominican's guards has been able to get by their player and get to the basket.
Messiah steamrolls his way inside. Bourne, offensive foul. They've got Barba Bay looking for a screen.
And you see it here, just not set. Barba Bay kind of ran into the screen, didn't get set. Another good call by the official.
And so it is back to Dominican. Our officials, by the way, for this afternoon's contest, Doug Abrahamian, Jim McMahon, and Raymond Downs. White hanging. It's a 1-point game late first half.
Joshua White with a little Euro step action partner for the bucket.
DC, we told you the last 4 minutes crucial for them. They've cut it to 1. 90 ticks left first half. 41-40 Jefferson. Number 1 in the South versus number 2 in the North with a trip to the championship on the line. Shot clock at 6. Murphy, a heave. Hard off the front of the rim. DC can take the lead this trip down. Johnson, too strong on the 3. But the pace doesn't slow. Bourne in transition. Offensive rebound. Bourne. They're just not getting set this trip down. Bourne was looking to shoot both times.
And a great job on a box out by Kopman, not letting Kempkane get that putback. You see Barber Bay intercepting that pass as Jalen Burgess will come in after getting a nice break.
Well, and we looked across the way. We caught head coach Joseph Clinton in his 31st season putting his hands down to the floor to tell DC, slow the pace with 55 seconds to play. And they will as Grant slowly dribbles with the left hand in the front court. Underneath, Grant leaves it for Burgess. The Chargers are in front.
Great job by Burgess back in after a break. And yes, as you just said correctly, back in front are the Chargers.
30 seconds to play. There's about an 11-second differential between game clock and shot clock. We've gone from a track meet to a snail's pace the last couple of possessions. Bourne, shot clock at 7.
This is crazy.
Inside, Bourne finishes.
Solid finish by DeAndre Bourne, who's been quiet in the first 20 minutes. Burgess off the mark. 3 seconds to go. Inside Johnson. Too strong. And it's halftime in Caldwell. Wow, what a frenetic last 90 seconds to see the Rams hold on to a 1-point lead. But what a half of basketballs. We're going to send it over to Jerry Milani.
All right, Coach. Exciting first half. Seems like you guys play this team every single time in the playoffs. What are you going to tell your team at halftime?
Well, we're up a point. We got to keep playing. What we can't do so far is we can't keep them out of the lane. They're making great plays by going by us on the dribble. If we can stop that.